Hey, one more thing before you go. Binge watching, playlist, TV, iPad, phone. To stream or not to stream? That's the question. Are you one of the millions upon millions of people that stream your entertainment content? Are you getting stream fatigue? Are you addicted to streaming? Stay tuned. In this episode, Diane and I are going to get down and dirty in the shower of streaming content. Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go. I'm here with my lovely wife, Diane, and we're on the Friday Over the Teacup session. We're going to talk about the world of streaming, and we're going to share it with you, that little guilty pleasure that we all do. We all have our favorites. We can all stand up and talk about that thing about addiction to streaming. I do it, you do it, we all do it. So welcome to the show as a co-host, Diane. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Michael. I'm glad to be here.
Well, let me set up everything so that everybody knows kind of where we stand from cable to streaming and our little journey. So we love TV. We love watching it. We love prepping it. We love scheduling it. We love planning it. It's our greatest pastime ever since we've been married. We've been going on 32 years actually this month. So that's what we do.
Maybe not after that introduction of that last line.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where everybody's got their thing. Our thing is TV. We love the entertainment aspect of it. We love working with TV. We love watching TV. We love talking about TV and TV shows. We get
Yeah,
involved in the characters. We get involved in the journeys and the everything. I mean, there's
sometimes
just so
too
many.
much.
Yeah, it's almost too much.
Yeah.
So I think we actually started. I think our first date was a movie.
Yes, it was.
So
It was, should I say the name of the movie?
sure.
It was Her Alibi with Tom Selleck and
Polina Poriskova.
Gova. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great movie too. Yeah, it really was.
It was
I
pretty good.
remember that. Yeah. So yeah, we've been
hmm
watching movies for a really long time. We'll just say that. So we're with DirecTV for approximately 25 years before we decided to, as they say, cut the cord. We had back then the options in the beginning were cable, as you guys know, and this new thing called satellite TV. We were one of the first people that actually had DirecTV. We got it in 1998, and they started in 1998, and
hmm
it was really unique to us because we were able to take a nice package of stuff, and they offered something more than cable, and it worked for us because the fact that I was working for the police department still, it gave more options because of my crazy schedule. So we kind of loved DirecTV for the longest time and satellite TV and the opportunity for working with satellite TV.
Yeah, and it
But
was really good when you were working, and they grandfathered us in later for the all of the East Coast channels and West Coast channels. So we had our regular local channels in Colorado, and we had East Coast and West Coast. And man, that was insane. That was great.
yeah, it was really nice. And the times that I worked till midnight or came home at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't tired. It gave
hmm
me options to watch stuff, which really was a benefit to me because it helped me to relax and go to sleep.
hmm
So on top of the choices that we had back then, it was fantastic actually. But after
Yeah.
25 years of satellite service, again, we decided to go ahead and dip our toes into streaming, and we've been doing it for about a year now.
hmm
And so, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think our daughter actually kind of suggested to us to get into streaming.
Yeah. Caitlin did. She's like, well, why don't you guys just stream? And I, I was like, what are you talking about? I had no idea what that even meant. And she was trying to explain it, and it was pretty much useless to me at the time.
Yeah, it's
Just like, I
well.
don't know what
Plus,
you're saying. I
we
don't
also
understand the
were.
words coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. And realistically, the whole fact of it is since we weren't that familiar with it. I mean, we were familiar with Netflix when they kind of started going from where you used to get a mail order disc.
Yeah.
Then they kind of moved into the streaming service. So we had dipped our toes into it a little bit
Hmm.
with Netflix because when they first started and they went digital, it mostly was movies. So if you wanted to order a movie, it was nice to be able to go on there and order a movie digitally, and you were able to watch it, from that perspective. So we had touched our toes in it just a little bit. But
Hmm.
I guess the question is, are we happy with what the decision was to do what we've done, or are we unhappy? Or because realistically, we kind of have to patch them all together in order to get what we want,
Yeah.
and spending more money than we were really wanting to spend, um, either equal to what satellite finally went to, or even cable, for example.
Hmm.
So I guess the question is to stream or not stream. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I'm not going to stop streaming. I mean, I, it's my life now, when I'm not working. Um, there's so many things that are offered now on so many different channels or services. I never know what to call them. Um, I guess the only bad part is when we see an ad for like a new show or a movie or something, and it's on a service we don't have. That's really sad for me. It's like, wait, but I want to see it. Wait, how much a month is that one? Oh,
Yeah,
dang
and
it! I guess I'm
and
never
un-
going to see that movie.
and unfortunately, what they're doing now is everybody's nickel and diming you, and everybody's
Yes.
going to streaming because they see the value of the number of. And I'm going to run over some numbers here shortly, but they kind of see the value of it. Everybody seems to be going to streaming and
Well, the
streaming
companies
service.
are making more money that way when they're cutting out the middle guy, right?
Well, exactly. They're absolutely 100%. It cuts out the middle guy, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, it kind of well, let's talk a little bit about let's talk about what's available out there.
Hmm.
So everybody knows these are primarily the ones. I mean, most of these we use. Netflix and Apple TV and YouTube, which you're watching right now, but YouTube TV, not just YouTube, but YouTube TV, which is
Hmm.
something we had switched from Hulu. We tried Hulu, which we'll talk about here in a second. But then they've got Peacock, and then you've got HBO Max and Paramount Plus and Prime, Amazon Prime Video, Pluto TV, Disney Plus, Sling. Um, so many options out there that
Hmm.
every one of them. Now, AMC has gotten into it. You got AMC Plus, and you've got History Channel now that you can purchase extra things for. So by the time you get done adding all of these things into the mix, you end up you get what you want,
Hmm.
but you end up basically nickel and diming it so that by the time we get done with everything, we're paying like $170 a month just for our entertainment, but we get the chance to niche it,
Hmm.
and this is kind of frustrating.
Well, I mean, frustrating in the fact that you can't, there's still times when you still can't get everything you want, but for the most part, we have a lot more than we did. So I think it's good there. I just think that we went into it thinking we were going to save money, and we're kind of not saving money.
Well, no, I mean, and obviously they've got their pros and cons, and I
Hmm.
mean, and we can talk about the pros and cons from our perspective, and I think a lot of people would agree with this. I personally believe it's the instant gratification that we get when we're able to watch something that we want to watch like immediately.
Hmm.
And that's at the forefront of streaming. How many times have we set up going just one more? You know,
All the
all the
time.
time. You know,
Oh, it's
you don't
so bad.
and you don't have to wait till next week.
No,
It's a
and I feel like they're doing it faster too, where um, it seems like at the beginning you used to have a little bit more of a break between the episode you just finished watching and the next one, like there, you could take a breath and say, okay, it's 10:10 at night. I got to go get up in the morning, go to work. I got to go to bed. Now it's like ending credits, boom, you're in the next episode and you're like, oh wait, no, I got to watch it. Like it's crazy. It's messing with my mind. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know something, it's that's where the addiction comes in, I think.
Right. And
And
I
it,
have an
and it,
addictive personality anyway. I mean, the more of these episodes we do, we'll probably delve into that too. So you'll all get to know me and my addictions, but
well,
I
it's
do. I have an addictive personality. I do.
well,
And
you do, but this is a better addiction than
well,
other
it's better than
addictions.
most, yeah,
You know,
but
from that
it can
perspective.
still lead to being a problem.
Well, and realistically, I mean, here's the deal: it satisfies the desire in the need to get closure in a story that we're watching, and you get that
Yeah.
immediately. Unfortunately, you may get it in a 14-hour binge. So, you know, you kind of go, okay, well, that one worked out, or it didn't work out,
Hmm.
you know, kind of a thing. But and you don't have to wait each week. Now, some of the services that we're watching, some of our streaming services that we've got, have now gone back to weekly, not just binge watching. And you still have the option of binge watching because you can wait till all the episodes get put on, and then you
Right.
can go through them all at once.
And
But they've
sometimes
gone
that's
to
better to do.
yeah, but
You
it's
know,
going on episodic, back to the episodic matter. So
right.
you get one a week, like on Disney. Is it Disney that we watch John Stamos?
Yeah. Disney Plus.
Disney
Big
Plus,
shots.
Big
Big
Shot.
shot. Yes.
So the Big Shot comes on once a week, and you have to wait until the following week, unless you
Hmm.
wait to a weekend or 2 weekends and you watch 2 or 3 episodes right in a row.
Right.
Hulu's got weekly episodes of something, but they did a benefit in the latest one, which is with Selena Gomez and um, Steve Martin and Martin
Martin
Short,
Short.
called
Only
Murders in the Building.
murders in the building. Hmm.
Murders in the Building, and it's outstanding. I mean, we're
It's really
hooked,
good.
we're caught. But what they did was very unique, wasn't it?
Well, kind of, because I think it must be a Hulu thing. I think that you're talking about the three. They released three at once.
They really, but not
Yeah,
all the time. They
not all the
released
time.
the three right off the bat, like a
Right.
movie,
To get you hooked.
to get you hooked. Because then you kind of go, okay, well now I'm ingrained in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm ingrained in this television show,
Yeah.
and I
And
want
now
to
you
watch
have to
more.
wait every week
And the value
because
of
that's
streaming
all
is,
there. Yeah.
yeah, the value of streaming is you can watch it anywhere. You don't have to
Hmm.
be sitting in front of your TV set. You could be at the computer. You can be on your phone. You could be on your iPad. You could be on your Android. You could be on, you know, other platforms that you have the opportunity to go, oh, it's back up again. Another episode came out. Here we go.
And
Or,
I just want to preface something real quick. In case my boss sees this, I do not watch my shows on my phone at work. I don't do that. I promise. I'm working.
well, this is my job, so I do watch them on my phone at
Yes.
work. Do you think COVID may have played any kind of an effect on the more people streaming, for example?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, people other than us who we're already homebodies, we're already TV fanatics. So
Right.
being locked down was actually great for me, and I think you enjoyed it too. But for those who they were kind of going stir crazy because of it, um, I'm sure that's kind of what they found to, not make themselves go too crazy. That they, would subscribe to these different services and find things to immerse themselves in, which was probably a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think, and let me share some numbers with everybody. Let me see if that can enlighten you guys with the number of individuals that actually it's going to amaze you. So streaming is king. Netflix has a total subscriber base now. It sits about 200. Now you can read this yourself, but for those of you that are listening to the podcast, they have a total subscriber base now. It sits at about 209 million. Viacom, CBS, which includes Paramount Plus, used to be CBS All Access, which we also had been subscribed to for quite some time, added additional 6.5 million streaming subscribers in the second quarter, which with a lot of those people were people that were home because of COVID. They reached 42 million worldwide. Disney has 174 million subscribers, but they've now acquired Hulu and ESPN, so it kind of it's included in there. And Hulu, both the their basic package, which is something that we also were introduced some time ago with regard to catching up on episodes, basically, and you could binge watch those for a lot of the channels and stuff. But the YouTube TV especially, or excuse me, the Hulu TV Live, especially the 174 million includes that. And then YouTube TV, which we've now gone to, because we tried Hulu Live. We've now experimented with YouTube TV Live. And that they've got like a little more than 3 million. That doesn't include some of the other ones like Discovery Plus and Philo and Sling. And I haven't put all those in here for whatever reason. Those are catching up, but they're not near what the big boys are at. But it shows you the difference in what people have been able to have access to. That's all. I mean, that's 209 million people is a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Based upon that, what do you think, from our perspective, is the benefit of streaming or on-demand videos?
We're never short of entertainment. I mean, when you're just looking at, okay, so sometimes with the YouTube Live, we'll go through the channels, and unfortunately with that, and probably with any kind of television package you get a lot of sports channels, a lot. And if you're not sports people, that's kind of wasted space. There's a lot of kids channels, which I think are great, but we don't have young kids. So another part of, our wasted space. But, I think for the most part, we're never short of anything to watch. And that's a good thing, but it depends on how, sometimes I can't get off the couch. Thank God I don't sit there with a big bowl of popcorn or a bag of chips or a bowl of ice cream. Oh my God, I can't imagine how much I'd weigh right now. But
well, and I think that's the con about binge watching. The binge watching has a benefit and it has a negative. It's a pro and a con. Binge watching is, again, it satisfies an immediate desire for what we want to see within that particular story. We can sit there and just take 2 or 3 hours and just binge, or unfortunately, there are some people who take 12 hours to binge. We did that with The Ranch. I think one time we started early in the morning.
We did.
And we didn't end until like 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we started something like 9 in the morning. So it was 12 hours worth of binging, which really makes us kind of sad.
Yeah, and we don't do that all the time.
No, we don't do it all the time. Unless it's Rain, because of course,
Okay, well, that was my show. So, yeah. Reign, REIGN. I found it a few months ago. But you were busy working, doing the show.
Doing stuff.
And it was like for hours that I'd be sitting there. Oh, well, I need something to watch. Okay. I was so invested in the show, and I finished all 5 seasons a week ago Sunday, and I almost had to call in sick to work the next day because I was devastated that it was over.
Well, they do that for the Super Bowl, so it should be expected with binging, right?
Oh, I'm still recovering that my show is over. And for any of you that don't know, it's on Netflix. It's actually an old show. Apparently it came out 2011 or 2012, something like that, on CW, which is one channel we didn't have. That's why I didn't know about it. And
we haven't.
When I found it, it's like kind of historical, and it's about Mary Queen of Scots and how she was raised in the French court, and it had a little bit of history, and it had gorgeous costuming, and my heritage is Scottish, so I was totally into anything that had to do with that, and it just checked all the boxes, and oh my gosh, I loved it. So if you love anything like that, check it out. It's awesome.
Well, and how do you compare that with them going back to like And we're going to talk about some of these in the next month or so. Some of our favorite new streaming things, which Ted Lasso, for example, which is garnering so many accolades across the board. And it's become one of our, if not our favorite television program to actually take a journey with each week. Unfortunately, in that particular case, it's like it's over. If I have to wait till next week, from my perspective, which I think from your perspective as well, it's kind of like,
well, and plus
crap.
it's, even though it's like a dramedy, which are normally hour-long shows, this one's a half an hour. Come on, you guys, give me an hour of the show at least every week, because well, we'll talk about it. But if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, it's on, what's it on? Apple Plus,
Apple Plus,
right?
Yep.
Okay. On Apple Plus, Friday nights. Do yourself a favor if you have not seen it yet. You've got to watch the show.
Well, yeah, watch the show, and then we're going to talk about it next week. And when we talk about it next week, if you want to email me at michael@onemorethingbefore-you-go.com. That's michael@onemorethingbefore-you-go.com. And it's Michael, by the way. And let me know what you think about the show, what you might want mentioned on the show, pros, cons, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Hit me up, email me, and then we'll talk about it next week on the show.
Yeah. It's so good.
So
good.
Real quick, since we've only got a few more minutes, what do you think about the fact that some of these movies that are coming out now? I mean, I realize, like, unfortunately, Scarlett Johansson raised a bunch of cane because they released her movie on streaming at the same time they released it in the theaters, and she felt kind of cheated out of that. But the majority of even like The Rock, his new movie that just came out, Jungle Cruise, and some of these others that have been released at home. I personally love the fact that we have access without having to go to the movie theater. That used to be our favorite pastime, to go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that we can actually access a movie on demand such as that. To me, it gives us the opportunity to relax from home. If we want to pause it, we can pause it. If we need to get up and go to the bathroom, we don't have to miss anything. We can go get something to eat, go back down, keep playing.
The only problem, I mean, that's really good, and I agree. I don't really miss going to the movies as much as I thought I would, but
I miss the $5 Tuesdays.
Yeah, I do miss $5 Tuesdays because that was a good deal. But the pandemic is still going on. I don't care. You can't tell me it's not. It is, and where we live, it's bad. It's worse than some places and not as bad as others. But I just don't really enjoy being around people. I've never really been a people person anyway, so I just stay away. But the fact that we can pause and go do other things, it takes us forever sometimes to get through a movie. Like an hour and a half movie sometimes takes us 3.5 hours. So that part drives me insane.
Unless it's a really, really compelling movie that takes us on a very intense journey. And then we kind of wait, it's like, I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to go to the bathroom.
And then that's when Charlie, I have a moth behind me. Anyway, the moths. We'll be like at a really good part. And that's when Charlie will bang at the curtain in the shades to say he has to go outside.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Charlie, you're killing me.
So real quick, what do you think of the pros and the cons of streaming and video on demand?
Sorry, I'm trying to hide them all.
That's all right from our perspective. Hey, this is life. Life happens.
Oh my God.
One more thing before you go is a unique conversation about life, and moths happen.
Moths happen. Mosquitoes are happening.
From our perspective.
It's all happening.
From our perspective, what do you think? Do you think we made a good decision to go streaming and on demand?
Oh yeah. I mean, I wish it was actually saving us money, but there you go. They're big business. So.
Well, when we cut the cord from DirecTV, we were paying about $149 a month. We were getting a package that was okay. Unfortunately, they created these packages that were, if you wanted this, you had to go to the next tier, but the next tier didn't include what you just left. And then if you wanted these two things, you had to go to the third tier. You get those two things, but then you get a whole bunch of stuff that you really didn't want, because we're not real big sports people. We have a few special teams that we watch, but we're not. So, you get stuck either with a ton of sports, which is not our bag, or you get to watch what we wanted to watch, but it comes at a higher price. So when we transferred to Hulu Live TV, when we first got into Hulu, it was charging us like $49 a month. And that was fantastic. Within 6 months, it jumped to $69 a month without any hesitation. And then it went up to like $79 a month. Well, by that time, it was like, this is kind of, from our perspective, this was just kind of too much for getting back into the DirecTV issue. And again, this is our experience and a 25-year customer of DirecTV, and we don't felt that we were being treated very fairly. So we're not trashing DirecTV. If you love DirecTV, which is now AT&T, great. Stick with it. We're not trashing them. If that's your option, you have that option. So we moved over to YouTube TV Live, which is about, with tax and everything, it's about $69 a month. And then $8 for Paramount Plus. Amazon Prime, which is included in our $149 a year membership, equals out to about $12.42 a month, but it includes other things. Our Netflix, when we first started with them, was about $8 a month. Now it's about $18. Our Apple Plus, so they increased, obviously, but they also started doing big star movie epics that came in, and they got to pay for those stars. So I guess that's the reason they bumped it up. Our Apple Plus is about $6. Our Discovery, which we're going to pick up, we haven't done it yet, is another $6. Disney Plus is like $15 a month. HBO is $14 a month. So we pay anywhere from $150 a month to $160 a month for our monthly entertainment. Okay, which we love. Obviously, this is where we go. This is our getaway. This is what we enjoy doing. We look forward to TV. So it's one thing that we appreciate, and we're able to kind of pick and choose with what we want. So from that perspective, when we go back to that other question that I asked you, now that you see the numbers, do you think we made the right decision still?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I wish it was cheaper, but if you're going to the movies, I mean, look how much that was costing. With didn't they take away the Tuesday $5 movies or something?
Oh, they did. And if you go to even an early movie now, it's still $15, $10 to $15,
right,
depending on where you go. So you're looking at $30 for two people to go to the movie.
Right.
If you got kids, you're looking at a $60, $70, $80 afternoon or an evening, which is an immense amount of money. That's
so you really can't. It's not like you can. It's not like you're seeing. If you do that, you really can't afford to be watching as many movies as you can with streaming. Plus, with streaming, you get television shows as well. So yeah, I think it's worth it.
I love everything. So I'll put this out to you guys. Let me know in the comments, or again, email me, Michael@onemorethingbeforeyougo.com. Tell me what your preference is. Do you think streaming is worth it? Do you think video on demand is better than going to the movies? Do you prefer the movie theater, or do you prefer staying at home? In the meantime, so thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to One More Thing Before You Go. We will see you next week. And don't forget to download our free app in the iOS store and or the Google Play Store. Compliments of our sponsor, Superpass. You can listen to, watch, and take with you every episode and the bonus content wherever you go. Catch us on your favorite listening platform here on YouTube or anywhere. Apple, Amazon, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Visit us at onemorethingbeforeyougo.com or beforeyougopodcast.com, where we can be reached at either one of those. Other than that, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go, a unique conversation about life. If you like our show and want to know more, check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. That's beforeyougopodcast.com. Tell your story, share your expertise, contribute to the blog, and subscribe to the newsletter. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.
And one more thing before you go. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. and thanks for listening.
One More Thing Before You Go, a unique conversation about life podcast, is a creation of One More Thing Productions, established 2010, all rights reserved.